you ever suffered before? Have you ever felt like deep pain? I remember back when I was in middle school and high school, there was always this message that I kept hearing. Now, I don't know if people really told me that directly, but some of them suggested it with their actions, if I didn't hear it directly in their words. And that message was, you're never good enough, and you never will be. And I would try. I mean, I work hard in school, I was good at sports, but I didn't feel like anybody was really my friend. I had a couple people, but as the days went forward, I felt like it was like hell had come to earth. And that was every day that I woke up. It was just deep pain and despair. And there was a moment in my life that I decided that life really wasn't worth it anymore. And so when I was 17 years old, I had planned to end it all. And while I don't have time to tell that story right now, all I can tell you is that it was a time of deep suffering. I think the author feels the same way about the song Beautiful Things, our last song in our worship series. He says, all this pain, I wonder if I'll ever find my way. I wonder if my life could really change at all. Have any of you ever felt that way before? That you felt such deep pain and it happens like every day that you don't know if anything's ever going to change, if you're ever going to get out of it. You're just like trying to survive. Have any of you ever felt like that before? There's so much suffering in our world. There's so much suffering that happens around here every day. I think about all the people who feel alone, all the people who are bullied. Things like this happen every day.
Do you have any friends at all?
Anyone that aren't imaginary?
Or your family? I know a bunch of people from your dance team and they said that they just pretended to be sick so they didn't have to go to your birthday party. Didn't you audition for the musical? Yeah? People told me that you sounded like a dying pig. Did you think you were going to get a part?
Now, while those people may be actors, the conversation is real. This kind of suffering happens even here, right now, in this youth group. This weekend, someone called my daughter a whore. That's not the only time those kinds of words have been said about people. Every single week, people like you say words like that to people in this youth group, to people who walk in, to people at your school. And there's this immense amount of suffering. And when people said that kind of stuff to me, I echoed with the author, like, why is it even worth it anymore? Life is miserable. Why should I live it this way? The only reason for me is Jesus. He's the only reason that you can have hope. We've already talked about this, but think about it. Human beings decided to throw their very worst at him. And he conquered it. He beat it. He suffered a gruesome death. He suffered tremendous bullying. And yet, he overcame it. And it's because of that I know that suffering never has the last word. In fact, suffering can teach us a lot of amazing things. one of my favorite authors, he was a priest named Henry Nouwen, wrote a book called The Wounded Healer. Sound kind of odd? How can that even be possible? When you're deeply wounded, you can actually participate in healing. How does that even work? How many of you have ever gone through horrible things in your life, and because of that, you have been able to use that as a gift to somebody else? You know, when I planned my suicide when I was 17 years old, and the aftermath of that, obviously I didn't do it because I'm here, but those feelings, that suffering, when I see people who go through the same type of despair, through the same type of suffering, now I know exactly how they feel. I know what it's like to be in such a deep point of hopelessness that I'm able to sit with them and relate to them on a level that I couldn't otherwise if I didn't go through that. That's what being a wound healer is all about. It's about taking the suffering is real. It's going to happen. It will happen. You will suffer. It's promised. But the question is, how will you respond to your suffering? How can any good come from what I'm going through? That's the question, isn't it? But God, in the rhythm of all things, has taken the things that are broken and made them beautiful. In fact, he says in the book of Romans that all things work for good for those who love God and who've been called according to his purpose. It doesn't feel very real when you're going through it. But I can't tell you the countless times that the horrible things that I've been through, I've now been able to use as a gift to speak to others about. When I've been betrayed, when I've been ridiculed, made fun of, feeling hopeless, feeling not good enough. All of those things now, I'm able to sit with people who feel the same, and I know how they feel, and I know what they're going through for the most part. So the question is, when you're going through such a horrible time, how will God use that as a gift? It's only from his power that it's possible. The story doesn't work without Jesus. It doesn't work without God taking things and making it new. In fact, in the book of 2 Corinthians, when he talks about someone who has put their trust in Jesus, he says he is a new creation. The old has gone and the new has come. Only Jesus makes this possible. And the author in the song, the main chorus, he says, "You make beautiful things out of dust. You make beautiful things out of us." We were actually made from the dust. God breathed life into us and we came to life. Something that was dust and dirt became something beautiful. And that rhythm is so throughout all of creation that when people suffer, there's something about that. When people ask the question, how can this be a gift I give to others? Beautiful things start to happen. As the author says in the song, hope starts springing up from this old ground. Life is being found in you, and he said it means in Jesus. So the question is not only how are you suffering, but what is your response to your suffering? And are you causing suffering to others? Because when you're singing the song, you're recognizing the pain. That's what I love about it. It's so honest. You recognize the pain and the suffering that you go through. But then there's the but God part, right? That God takes that which has been destined for death and suffering, and he made it good. At the end of the Bible, the Apostle John has this vision